Experience that at Christmas, you're on the wrong hall. Just thought that was appropriate to start our January town hall meeting, and with appreciation to, I don't know the name of the group, but maybe you guys can name the group for us. So.
It's the Sensational Seniors.
The Sensational Seniors. All right, welcome to our January Town Hall. Hope you all had a great holiday. Good to see everybody out and about, and got a pretty large agenda planned, so we'll get to it. And we will start with our traditional moment of silence. Thank you. All right, as I said, we've got a pretty crowded agenda. We're going to invite Bill Carroll to start us with an update on the resident assistance for, yes, that's right, resident assistance fund.
Thank you, everyone, for your support of the Resident Assistance Fund. We have surpassed the goal and $173,000 plus. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Bill, for your efforts, and thank you to everyone who generously donated. Means a lot for our ongoing, being able to provide service to residents that need it. So thank you for your generosity. All right, we are welcoming back. We are very pleased to welcome back. Kelly, you want to stand up? Kelly Rogers, you haven't seen her in a while, and you haven't met her yet. That could have have happened. Kelly's our resident services coordinator, is back today, and we expect Sydney Sparing to be back tomorrow. So excited about both of their returns, and certain that Matt shares with me the opinion we are definitely the most two excited for their return. So let's move to a little pop quiz. We'll see how you do compared to our friends at West. I'm fully confident we'll fare well. So just some scenarios. These scenarios may or may not have actually happened. They actually did. They're real scenarios, believe it or not. So it's 3 a.m. My toilet is overflowing onto the floor, and the water doesn't seem to be stopping. I should. Here are your choices. Call maintenance and leave a voicemail message. Email maintenance. Call security. Or press my emergency call button. Okay, seems like I'm hearing call security. And you are right, thank you. That is correct. Unfortunately, this advice was not followed in the moment. But second, I purchased some flushable wipes. I should use them just like I would normal toilet paper. It says right there on the package they're flushable. Throw them in the trash, but never flush them, since it could cause an entire building's drain system to be clogged. Throw them in the trash is correct. Thank you. They are not, in fact, flushable, as we found out the hard way recently. A personal favorite, my dog pooped on the elevator. I should leave it there, someone else will clean it up. Or let someone know so it's not left there for a team member to discover. We're going with clean it up, or let someone know at least, so we don't have to discover it. We will not judge if an accident happens. It is nice to be prepared for things like that do happen. Just please let us know so we don't have to discover it, or one of your neighbors have to discover that on an elevator or elsewhere. The sun is shining in the pickleball court area and I can't see very well. I should. Got lots of options here. Call maintenance and leave a voicemail message. Email maintenance. Let any team member know about the glare, or pick up some tray liners at the hub, take them to the window to block the glare. Try to be helpful. Let's see, any guess as to what is the only wrong answer here? It's a very astute group. The only wrong answer would be to pick up tray liners from the hub and take them to the window. Let us help you. Let us know. That's certainly a real issue when you have a glare coming in on the pickleball court and you can't see. But let us know so we can help navigate something like that. Then the last one, I found this really cute purple polka dot cow decoration that I'm sure everyone would love. I should. Place it in one of the living rooms for all to enjoy. Place it in my own living room. Let Matt or Steve know about my find. Or purchase one for every living room at friends' homes and wait for the compliments to start. Any guesses? Actually, there's a lot of good options here. Placing it in your own living room being the best option. You can let Matt or I know so that we can advise as to if that is consistent with the decor that we are trying to accomplish in the common areas, and we'll be glad to advise you. All right, so hopefully that was time well spent, and the purple cow was used to protect the name of the real decoration. With that, Matt's going to give us the dining service update.
We had to buy more tray liners at the hub, and so monthly service fees are going way up. The end. That was a joke for anyone who did not know. So, if you don't know, from about the end of October, really starting with the trunk or treat through January 1st for dining is a lot of events, a lot of caterings, a lot of people on vacation. So my updates today are brief. I'll try to keep my remarks the same. So what have we been working on recently? So holiday parties and special meals. So real quick, a show of hands, who attended either the holiday Christmas dinner or New Year's Eve or New Year's Day? Okay, good. I hope you had a good experience. We've got a lot of positive feedback from those events. And so thank you for coming and putting your trust in us to deliver a fun event for you. But those were some of our main focus in the immediate time frame. Additionally, we've been working, and I mentioned this at the last town hall, pastry items, specifically pot pies and quiche. We're going to continue to focus on those. We have had some positive feedback, but I want to continue to keep our eye on the ball there. We have not had pot pie in a while, and I hope that next time we do, or we may, I heard somebody say last night, I haven't seen the menus for this week, so well, I hope you had it, and I hope it was better. The head shake is for not having it. I'm going to go out on a limb there. If you did have it and it was not good, please let me know, because we are changing our recipes and the methods that we produce that. And all jokes aside, we want to get that one right. So please let me know. We have started our programming planning, and so for the upcoming year, we have a lot of tweaks to some old favorites and some new ones coming out. So more to come on that. Those will be on your Care Merge calendar. Those will be on your connection. One of the most immediate is we're kind of calling it the Four Corners. We're looking at sort of this regional style chef action station event. More to come on that, but a lot of good stuff and a lot of updates to some of the old favorites. We also are working on, thanks to Frederick that y'all all met. Sorry, I feel like I'm hunched over the podium. Some training. So we hear some feedback on service and things that need to be improved with service. And so Morrison has a really great resource that helps with that training. It starts with service basics. It starts with back of house basics, like following recipes, tasting the food to make sure what we're putting out is what we would like to put on your plate. And it builds from that to higher level things. So we've actually just started this with the managers. So the first phase is to educate all the managers, and then we'll roll that out to the rest of the staff. So over time, I'll continue to update on this, and hopefully you'll see some improvements to some of those things that we get feedback on service related. We have updated our catering policies, so we are in the process of finalizing this. So for those of you that ever host an event, a private event, and you have something catered, the big changes impacting, two big changes, are the time frame that we would like to have that request in for a catering event. So that used to be 7 days. So under the current policy, it is 7 days. The way we get our deliveries has changed a little bit, and it's made that 7-day turnaround time very difficult to ensure that you have a good program and that you get the food that you want. So we have extended that out to 14 days. This obviously excludes anything like a memorial service that's kind of a sudden urgent matter, but for hall parties, or if you're gonna have a Christmas party, you want us to prepare some food for that, we do ask that you give us 14 days notice so that we can make sure you get what you want. And then changes to the billing. So if you have a party, a private party, and we provide provide a server for you. In the past, a lot of that's all been kind of lumped into one charge. We're breaking that out and getting a little bit more specific about that, so that private events are taken away from everyday service. So more to come on that. We'll communicate that out when it's finished. Another big update, and one I think that I'm probably the most excited for, is a refresh to the Ruth menu. So the Ruth restaurant menu has been refreshed. That process went to we took a menu, we put some thoughts on paper, took that menu to the dining committee at Guilford. We got some feedback. We put together a focus group of members of that committee and people who have offered freely their input on the dining program, and good or bad, and had a good, I would say, productive meeting. Steve was there. The last question to the group was, would this menu make you want to eat at the Ruth more? And unanimously it was yes, and that group included members of the dining committee from West and Guilford. Again, I mentioned people who have experienced a lot of changes in dining and have shared their feedback with me, and then residents from both sides of the community. So we're really excited for that. The big thing is that it's a pretty large departure from what you're used to. So that concept of action stations changing every day and one daily special changing every day and a small set of items that you can get all the time, it's a little bit of a change from that. So there is a larger number of items that are always available, and no secret, those items are pulled from the most popular action station and Friends specials. Those are always available. The action station, as you know it, is going away, but in its place we're offering 2 Friends special options again. So we're really excited about it. That being said, it is a big change. We're really pushing the team. Nick is pushing his team to produce really at a high level. So we're doing some training with the staff on how we're going to prepare that food, how we're going to meet those demands, and once we educate the back of the house, Caleb has taken the lead on educating the front of house, and we'll be able to roll that menu out. We're thinking sometime at the beginning of February, just to give the team an opportunity to really try their hand at it before we go live.
So when are we gonna see this menu?
You will see this menu.
But everybody's seen but us.
Everybody, you're wrong in that statement. Everyone has not seen it. A group of about 10 residents in the focus group, and I think the dining committee is maybe 10 people, so 20 out of about 700 have seen it. But we will put that on CareMerge once we feel comfortable with that. We had a few what I'd say is clerical changes. So the way you read the Friends specials, we got some feedback that was not necessarily clear that it's 2 options. It looks like one big option, and so Nick's adjusting that. And once that's done, more than happy to put that out so everybody can see it. But we definitely don't want to cause any confusion and get it out too early, because we don't want anybody showing up thinking they're going to have that menu and you still have the current menu. But good question, but we will share that in good time. And then last but not least, we have been recruiting and continuing our efforts to recruit for a director of dining services. We have had a lot of conversations, met a lot of people, and we've identified somebody that we really like. And so in that, we're going to be bringing that person back to meet with some residents, meet with the leadership team, meet with members of the dining leadership team, and dig down a little bit further, and hopefully be in a position to determine if this is our person or not by the end of this week. So as soon as we make an offer and receive some feedback, we will certainly communicate that once we have any breakthroughs on that recruiting. So reservations, I hear they're very, very popular over here. So I'm glad that I'm hiding behind the podium today. So again, you saw the hands go up. So these seated meals, the holiday meal and New Year's Eve here was a little bit different. But if you went to New Year's Eve at Cobles, it was very similar to what you had here experience-wise for the holiday meal. So it was a reservation, a time slot. You come in, you get seated, and you have a menu, a coursed meal that's brought out to you. So what that did was show us a couple things. So if you notice on some of our events, we will have noted reservations required. And in the past, the team loves to be accommodating, and we want that. We want them to be as accommodating as possible. We have found ourselves in what I would refer to as a good problem, that these events have become so popular that people showing up without a reservation, again, speaking only about a designated event, are not going to be able to be accommodated. And so with that, you see here the first example we had of that was the holiday meal on the West Campus. We served 210 people. We had reservations for about 180. And so you can do the math. We had a lot of people show up without reservations. A lot of tables and people without reservations, and that caused a lot of issues. Now the team thankfully jumped in and rallied around each other and prevented anybody from experiencing those issues, but we don't like to operate that way. It's a little bit chaotic. It is always on the verge of running out of food or giving you bad service or having to change the menu without proper notice. And so with that, moving forward, we are going to lean heavily on that policy. So we'll clearly communicate this out. If an event is reservation required, people showing up without those reservations may not be accommodated, okay? You may be asked to hold tight, and if we're able to accommodate you, we will. And unfortunately, the menu may change and may be limited. It just depends on what we're able to do. So encourage you all to get familiar with that, and as we move forward with those programs, be able to help ensure that everybody has a good experience. I do think it's important to note the two distinctions here. Reservations, so again, reservations are a specific time, so a seated meal, a coursed meal, like the holiday dinner, where you come in at a certain time and you're seated with your group, and we serve you, and then you go about your way and have a great time. A sign-up list is a little bit different. So that's going to be something like the 4th of July cookout, or the Passover celebration we had. In that, we just need to know how many people are coming. So we need to know, we don't necessarily need to know when Whitney's going to show up and when Daryl's going to show up. We just need to know that, hey, Whitney and Daryl are both coming so that we can prepare enough food. And so that is important to note the distinction. We will do better on our end of communicating that. I have had some feedback that that's not always very clear to everybody. We will also do a better job on our end of communicating with you after you've made a reservation. We've received some feedback that we're not always the best at that either. So that's what that last little bullet point up here is, that we're reviewing our procedures and fine-tuning that to really support this policy. We're also undergoing some demonstrations from from Full Count and from Triple C, which is our room booking software. They offer a pretty robust reservation platform, and we hope that will be beneficial. And so we look forward to getting better on our end at that, but did want to communicate those changes to everybody because I know that will be a departure from what everybody's used to, and recognize that may be uncomfortable in the interim, a lot to get used to, but it's really the only way that we can assure that those programs, those special meals go off successfully. So with that, I'll turn it over to Whitney for a campus life update.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Whitney Ariza. I'm the Director of Campus Life, and I'm going to share a few updates. The first is, if you received a Connection newsletter, which all of you did, you would have noticed that we have taken the sign-up sheets at the information station out, and all of our sign-ups are now done electronically through Icon. So our hope is that you'll be able to make your own reservation whenever you like. You just log in and sign up for the activity you're interested in. But if you have trouble with that, you can still visit the reception desk. Sherry has been trained, and she can sign you up for activities that you may want to participate in. She'll do that Monday through Friday between 9 and 4. If you are interested in learning more about Icon and signing yourself up, every Wednesday in the month of January, we have classes scheduled. We had our first one last week about what is Icon, how do I log in? This Wednesday, we're learning about the hamburger menu, the lines at the very top, and what those mean and what you can access there. On the 15th, we'll be teaching you how to sign up for events. On the 22nd, we're going to do a recap. And then on the 29th, we'll have a picture day. We have some photos in CareEmerge, we're in Icon, used to be called CareEmerge, now it's Icon. And we're trying to add more resident photos to that. So we hope you'll come and get your picture made. This schedule is in the Connection newsletter. If Wednesdays don't work for you, or you don't want to work in a big group, you can always make an appointment with me or with Mary Wallace, and we're happy to go over Icon with you. We want you to feel good about signing up and knowing how to access information. So please reach out to us if you want a one-on-one session.
We are Thursdays. We are Thursdays
I'm sorry.
with Guilford.
Thank you. Guilford is Thursdays. I just got done on Wednesdays. Guilford is on Thursdays. You can see it right there. Thank you. All right, one of the trips I want to highlight this month for our Lunch Bunch program, we're going to Jolo Winery. We're going to eat at InPost. It's a restaurant that's located within the winery, and it's rated #1 out of the restaurants in Winston-Salem area. So you can go there. Meals range from $17 to $30. And then if you want, you can do an optional wine tasting as well. So that'll be on January 10th. Another program we're very excited about is Donald Davis, a very renowned storyteller, is going to be coming to West Thursday, January 23rd at 7 p.m. in the living room. Of course, we'll have transportation available, but he has been inducted into the National Storytelling Association's Circle of Excellence. He used to work in High Point at Christ United Methodist Church. He's been a minister, storyteller, lecturer, and we are thrilled to have him. He's not very easy to get, and we're excited to have him here. Has anybody ever heard of Donald Davis? Here we go. Good. Some good hands. So he'll be a great speaker to have. Something else we're excited about, Friday, January 24th at 4 p.m., we're going to have a toast to Robert Burns, the Scottish poet. Do we have any Scots in the house right now? I see a few hands. So this will be a really fun afternoon. We'll have some poetry reading. We've got a Scottish country dance group that will be coming, along with a bagpiper. And then we'll have a meal in the Ruth dining room. So I hope you'll join us for that. That'll be a lot of fun. And then another speaker that's going to be coming is an author. Her name is Charlene Pell. She wrote In This Altered Body. She is going to give us an inspiring talk about her experience. She survived a plane crash, and she's going to talk about her experience, what she's been through, and the resiliency that's come from that. So we're very excited to have her as well. And then lastly, Valentine's Day is coming up in February. So we're asking residents to submit their photos, your wedding photos, pictures of you as a couple. You can turn those into Mary Wallace. You can email them or drop the physical copy off, but we're trying to collect pictures. We're going to have a program on Valentine's Day, and we'll do a montage of those photos. So please share them with us. We'd love to see them. That's it for me. I'm going to pass it on to Jasmine.
Hello everyone, I'm Jasmine Hernandez, the Wellness Director, and I want to start off by talking about our 5K. We are doing an early bird special for $20, and then it will increase in about 2 weeks to $30. And so this is the kickoff for us to really help the Resident Financial Assistance Campaign. Last year our goal was to double the amount, and we've reached that goal to $18,000, and I really think that it's possible for us to reach $25,000 this year. And so for us to do that, we need your help to spread the word, share it with your friends, your families. We love for you to participate. We love for you to be there to cheer and support. We have a QR code actually in the corner of this flyer for those who want to register online, or if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or Kayla about the registration. Okay, We have a lot of fun things, and these are the big programs I'd love to highlight. Senior Games is something that Greensboro offers. It's similar to our Contour Olympics. It's an Olympic-style athletic event from archery, cycling, 5K, swimming. If this is something you are interested in, we would love to help you register. They also have a QR code where you can check on their website to learn more information. And then last week, we hosted our own Friends Homes Artist Showcase here, and we had about 50 show up and 21 participations. So from the 21, we're gonna actually submit the top 3 in each category to Contora Artist Showcase. And I just wanna say a big thank you to Dave and Barbara McGinns, because they're the ones that really help bring this program to life. So thank you so much, and I just wanted to give them a round of applause. And then finally, we have our Spring Olympics. You might be familiar with our Fall Olympics, and this is something new. We split all of our athletic events to a fall and spring. And so this spring, we are offering Wii Bowling, Sudoku, Co-Ed Pickleball, Duplicate Bridge, Co-Ed Bocce, Putting, Water Volleyball, Water Walking, Swimming, Corn Toss, Women's Billiards, and Table Tennis. If any of this resonates with you or you are interested, please contact either me or Kayla so that we can sign you up. And I also want to note that this will be our very first year hosting the Olympics on March 6th. So we would love for you to be there and to cheer for this wonderful event. The last thing I also want to mention is to encourage you to look at the connections, because we have several new programs, we have monthly challenges, and also our fitness assessments. So look at the connections and the announcements. And then I'll hand it over.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Elizabeth Joyce. I am the Director of Human Resources, so I'm usually
We can't hear you.
You can't hear me? How about now?
Yes. Yeah,
Is that better?
yeah.
How about now?
Yes.
Okay, I will start over. Thank you for letting me know. So my name is Elizabeth Joyce. I am the Director of Human Resources, and we are usually behind the scenes hiring and onboarding and training all of our great team members that take care of you all. So it's good to be in front of you today. I wanted to share with you kind of what we've been up to in Human Resources. We've had a few things going on this year. So we started with our Employee Service Awards in February of last year. We had 29 employees who received service awards from 5 years of service to 40 years of service. So that says a lot about the whole organization that folks want to stay here that long. And so thank you for making our employees feel welcome. We also gave some employee scholarships out in 2024. We had 4 of our employees who received $2,000 apiece to go towards their educational, to further their education, sorry. And then we also have an employee referral bonus program. So for our employees who love working here, they referred some of their friends or even family members, and we had 15 of our staff members receive an employee referral program. So it says a lot when your team is happy and they refer others to come work here with them. We also have our Dave Ramsey Smart Dollar program that Friends Homes graciously paid for all of our staff members this year. And so we have 105 employees participating in this program to improve their financial wellness. And so that was a big benefit that employees have really enjoyed this year. We also partnered with some local colleges, so we have interns on site, we have some clinical folks here doing their practicing, I guess, in their clinicals, and we also received some discounts for our employees on their tuition at a couple of our local colleges, so that's been a great benefit as well. We also, for our retirement plan, added a Roth option. So our employees now have a little more flexibility in how they can save for their retirement plan. We improved our bereavement policy, so if employees have a need to be away from work due to the death of an immediate family member, they now get 3 days that they can be away from work without worrying about their jobs. We also increased our minimum pay rates. So any employee that works with us, there's no one here that makes less than $14.50 an hour. So that was an improvement for pay. We also created an employee engagement committee this year, and there are representatives from every department, and we meet monthly. They come to Human Resources, they consult with us on any type of engagement activities they would like, or benefits that they would like us to look into, or any problems, concerns, anything they'd like to talk about. We have that meeting on a monthly basis with our employees. We also facilitated the payout of the employee appreciation bonuses with you, that you residents so graciously raised for the money for, and so we appreciate you and how that you show that love to our staff. We also had our inaugural employee family Easter egg hunt this year, and so we had employees bring their little ones in, and they hunted Easter eggs, and they jumped on the bouncy houses and had a good time. We also had an employee luau, and some of you actually dressed up in your best Hawaiian attire to support our staff that day, so thank you for that. They had a really good time. We offered an employee pumpkin decorating contest as well as a trunk or treat, so we had some fun decorating and dressing up for Halloween. We had a mobile hot chocolate bar one day where we just pushed around a whole vat of hot chocolate and just gave the employees an unexpected treat in the afternoon to kind of make them feel warm and fuzzy. And then we just recently had our employee end of the year holiday Christmas party. We had over 150 employees come, and some brought their spouse or significant other with them, and they had a night full of fun. So we just wanted you to kind of see what all we've been doing this year. Let's see. I included some pictures so you can see some of the fun that we've been having this year. We did an ugly sweater contest around Christmas, some ugly sock contest, and did some of the other awards around the Smart Dollar program. And what are we looking to do for 2025? So we are working on a new onboarding and orientation process for our new hires. We really want to make sure that they are feeling welcome when they come on board and they're getting all the training that they need to be successful in their roles. We have some hiring and retention strategies that we are working on specifically around nursing. I'm not sure if you all are aware, but there is a national nursing shortage. So we're trying to do our best to bring nurses on board and really make this a place that they would love to stay for their career. And then, of course, we will continue with our employee engagement activities and having some fun with our staff throughout the year. And then, just so that you're aware, I wanted to share with you some of the benefits that we do offer our employees for working here. They actually receive medical, dental, and vision insurance. They have a 401k plan. They have discounts that they receive on their meals. They have a nurse practitioner that is on site that they can see for free. So if they're not feeling well, they can go right in there and see her. They don't even have to leave work to get some medical advice. We have, of course, our wellness and fitness centers that our employees are able to use. We have an employee assistance program. Our employees can call them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is totally confidential for any type of issues they may have regarding work, relationships, finances. That is all available to them for completely free confidential consultations. And we also offer disability and life insurance as well as flexible spending accounts. So thank you for all that you do to help our staff love their roles here. Again, you guys are the reason that most of them tell me that they stay here. So I appreciate that. And if you ever have any questions about what we do in Human Resources or anything that we offer for our employees, feel free to stop by our HR department. And we are located near the solarium here. Thank you.
How many employees do we have?
Well, it fluctuates day to day, but I'm gonna say 464 is the last number I looked at. Okay, we'll turn it over to Mark.
Happy New Year, everyone. My name's Mark Ford. I'm the Director of Maintenance. And I am going to put up a picture. This is what a lot of people give me credit for, like getting everything fixed. And if I could get everything fixed, it's because I'd have 12 arms or something. It's not the case. We've got a great team here of maintenance folks, and they're running around constantly trying to make sure everything's right and get things taken care of. I thought that was a fun photo to share with everybody. I've got a couple different updates here, and the left side's all west and the right side's all Guilford. I'm just going to highlight the Guilford ones unless anybody has any specific questions later. But the Woolman window wall repairs in the courtyard. For those that don't remember, we had the big giant machine. I got it stuck pretty good, and then we collectively got it out. And it left a big mess. Daryl and his team are still working on getting that taken care of. We had a lot of back-of-house kitchen repairs over the past month. We got the elevator that serves only the kitchen back up and running and working the way it should. And then we actually repiped the whole water distribution system in the back house, back of the line area, make it easier to clean and service, and moved a couple pieces of equipment too. So a lot of work going on back kind of behind the scenes. Over in Fry, we've been fixing a lot of exhaust fans. We noticed that we had some issues with the exhaust fans in Fry and had to get them repaired. So we've already fixed a number of them, and we're working to continue fixing the rest of them. And then we had our healthcare inspection over at Whittier, and nothing alarming came out of the list. There's one that was really surprising that resulted in a new sidewalk closer to Hobbs. It was deemed that the existing sidewalk had a fall hazard into the little dry pond that's next to the sidewalk in Whittier. And it's a valid concern. It surprised me that it hadn't been brought up until now. So we fixed it. And Daryl and his team got the new sidewalk in, and we're gonna finish the landscape and get everything kind of graded out and wrapped up there. We did a lot of gutter cleaning while we had the machine out here. The Duke Power, I love Duke Power because they keep my house warm and they keep my lights on. But I can't get them to fix these parking lot lights out here, and it's been a real challenge. The first time, they did it relatively quickly. I think it took about 4 or 6 months. But this time it's getting about 6 or 7. So I'm getting really frustrated. A tree limb had taken down one of the lines, and they got it all safed up. And then I swear it was working for a few days and it hasn't worked since. So continue to try to work on that. There's no light out in front of Whittier that my team's going to take care of. Building signage, if anybody noticed, it surprised me.
It's beautiful.
A lot, thank you. Somebody did notice, but there may be others that haven't noticed that we changed all the exterior signs on the building when you walk in. And some folks hadn't noticed, but the new beautiful signs are up, so thank you for enjoying them. And then grab bar project. I've had a lot of questions about grab bars, and I want to be super duper clear that we're going to start that project this spring. I am still working on all the details of how and when exactly that's going to happen, but it will start sometime, I'm guessing towards the end of February, but sometime in the spring we'll start that project. At the end of the project, that's when the reimbursement side of things will come in. A lot of folks have paid for their own grab bars and they'd like to be reimbursed. That's going to happen towards the end of that project. So I probably get an email once a week and a call once a week about asking about this process. So I want to make it really clear that we're committed to doing it. It's all going to happen, and it's going to happen this spring. And as I have that information, I will give it to you as how exactly we're going to deliver that project. More than likely, I'm going to dedicate one person from my team and have them come make appointments. And that's a pretty daunting thing to wrap your arms around. So we're still working through the process of that. And then over in Whittier, we're going to be refreshing a number of the rooms and changing. If you haven't been to those spaces, they've kind of got some built-ins and a little recessed area, and TV sits on the nightstand, or the dresser. We're going to wall mount the TV and change some of those built-ins, make them flush with space, and kind of make the space more functional, usable, and just better for everybody involved over there. So that project's going to kick off here shortly after this Friday, so the very, very beginning. There's 10 of those rooms. Not all of them yet. We're doing 10 as a part of this project. And that's all I've got prepared, but I'll be around for questions after Jordan's presentation.
Gotta step over the cord here. Thanks, Mark. And thanks, everyone. I hope when you see these presentations, you have a thought kind of like I do, which is we have a lot of people doing a lot of good work here, working really hard to make sure that you have a great experience at Friends Home. So I'm always thankful when I hear them all sharing what they're working on. And we hope to continue to present different managers to you throughout the year. I think this is the first time Elizabeth has had an opportunity to present to you all. Isn't it good to hear what we're doing for our staff? I think it's important to share these types of things with you so you see what's going on and how we care for the folks who ultimately care for you. So I'm just going to share a little bit about our finances. So we had another good month. This is the finances for November, okay? I'm going to just draw your attention to, let's see, maybe I can use the laser. Where's the laser on this thing? Is it the trigger? Hey-oh, there we go. Okay, this number right here, 249,000, is a positive variance in revenue, okay? So this number is what we budgeted year to date. This number is what we actually collected year to date. So we have a positive variance of this number, or positive 250,000, I'm rounding, okay? This is our expense line. Here's what we budgeted. Here's what we actually collected. And you can see we were negative. We actually had more expenses than expected. So we had more revenue than expected, but we had more expenses than expected. The net of those two numbers is a positive of 104,000. Okay, so this is for October and November cumulatively. So this is good. We're ahead. We always want to be ahead early in the year. So we should be happy about this number. Our investments, we have 87 million in investments. It's a good number, but we also have 104 million in outstanding debt. Also a big number. Part of that is the expansion and some, big projects here. We collected 1.5 million in entrance fees. And you can see that. I hope you can see that laser. One day we'll get a laser that's much, much bigger. We need a highlighter. And let's see here. And this number here, purchase of fixed assets, that's our capital expenditures. So those are the big projects that we've done this year. Actually, the big projects that we did between October and November. So we talk about elevators. We actually replaced an elevator jack in the kitchen, ACs, the sidewalk project. Those are all examples of big capital infrastructure type projects. Mark mentioned the Whittier refresh. There's money that we set aside to spruce up some of those rooms. That's capital. So that number represents what we spent year to date. Now we have this number. We have $4.7 million that we plan to spend this year on projects like that. So there's a lot of big ones coming. One neat one that's coming is an electric bus. We've talked about it a few times. Should be here late January, possibly February. They're actually manufacturing it for us. So we're at the mercy of the manufacturing company. But it's a fully electric 12-passenger vehicle that'll make it easy to get between West and Guilford. It's much lower to the ground, it's very quiet, it's not as intimidating as getting up into our buses that we currently have. So it's just an example of some of the ways that we spend the capital dollars. Some financial ratios, our debt service coverage ratio is our ability to pay our debt. Our budget is 2.0, so we're budgeted to be able to pay our debt twice. We're actually 2.9, almost 3 times the ability to pay our debt if we need to. Days cash on hand, we have 861 days cash on hand compared to a budget of 762. And our net operating margin is 13.5% compared to a budget of 6.8%. What are some of the drivers for our revenue? Well, the biggest one is census. If you're ahead of budget in your census, then you're most likely going to be ahead of budget on your revenue. And I'm happy to say that in November and December, and these numbers are actually January's numbers, we've been ahead of our budget with our census or our occupancy in every one of our venues. Whether it's independent living, assisted living, skilled nursing, they're all ahead of budget, so this is good. It's always a sign of a good, healthy community where your census is strong, right? Because if people weren't happy, they wouldn't stick around. And also, they wouldn't tell their friends about it and say, you should come live here too, right? But we know people are sticking around, and we have a very healthy wait list for a number of different types of apartments. And we also have a really strong referral rate. So we know that a strong percentage of our residents are actually recommending us to their friends. So thank you for that. We mentioned a little bit about recruiting, but I think it's wise to share again. We are in the midst of recruiting for a director of dining services. We want to be really careful with this hire. This is a very visible position. We want this person to be seen in the dining rooms and very accessible to our residents, but also to our staff. We want somebody who's going to cultivate relationships. And we think we have maybe found somebody. We're pretty optimistic about an interview that we have set up for this week. We've spoken to a number of different folks, and we're pretty optimistic about that. So more to come. There's still a long journey ahead of us of working our way through the process, but we just want you to know that we're being thoughtful about this position. It's pretty high profile, means a lot to you, and it means a lot to us. And then spiritual wellness coordinator. We have extended an offer to a spiritual wellness coordinator candidate. We're cautiously optimistic about her arrival. She has accepted the offer, which we're excited about, but there's still a long journey ahead of us. This will be an out-of-state move for her and her husband, and so there's a lot that needs to occur before the date when she actually starts. We do have a start date set for the end of February, so you can see there's a lot of time and there's a lot of things and probably a lot of emotions as well that need to be processed before she actually ends up here. But we want you to know we've extended the offer. She has accepted, and we are cautiously optimistic about her arrival. More will be shared as we get closer to that date. We'll share a bio, picture, all that good stuff. So we're just waiting a little bit longer. And yes, there is a Quaker affiliation. Now, Elizabeth spent some time sharing a little bit about the culture and how we support our staff. I just wanted to share some fun pictures. On the left is our hot chocolate crew. This is the crew of staff that they showed up at different people's departments and just offered them hot chocolate. They had Christmas music playing, they had jingle bells, and it was just a random fun event. And then the other two pictures are staff at our Christmas party. We brought a DJ in. We hired a caterer, so our dining team didn't have to cook or clean or anything like that. Our staff were able to bring a +1, a guest, and we even hired childcare so that folks with children would feel very free to come, and it was free childcare, and we just had a great time. So I tell you because I want you to know what we do for our staff, but I also want to take a moment to thank you. I want to thank you, our residents. We couldn't do something like this without your support, right? We closed the hub down, so you gave up the hub for us. But you know, your monthly service fees, they fund everything that happens at Friends Homes, including how we pay our staff and how we recognize them and how we invest in the culture. And so I want you to see your investment paying off. We had so many happy people after this day. And I was stopped by so many employees that said, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so I want to extend that thank you to you. We had a great time and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you. So now my favorite part of the presentation is the question and answer. I hope there's a good question out there. We have some microphones coming around and we'll be happy to answer.
Hi, Jordan.
Hi.
What about the Refresh for the Roof dining room?
Yeah, great question. It's still underway. We had actually a meeting with the designer last week, and that was one of about 4 meetings that we've had with her after meeting with the task force. Now, keep in mind, okay, I'll take a couple steps back. You may recall about 3 months ago, actually at the October meeting, I think, we shared that we were going to refresh the Ruth dining room. So we wanted to update the way that the Ruth dining room looks. And if we can, we want to try to mitigate some of the noise in that dining room as well. Remember what I said, we're never going to be able to eliminate it. But if there's some ways that we can reduce the noise, we want to explore that. So that's what we're doing. We're not renovating the kitchen. We're not really renovating in this project how we produce the food, but we are doing our best to just spruce it up a little bit. It's an aesthetic refresh. So we did form a focus group. We met with the focus group. We tried to pick the brains a little bit. What would you like to see? What's important to you? And we took that information and we met with the designer. And we've had about 4 meetings with the designer going back and forth, making adjustments. And we came to a point last week where I think we all felt comfortable that that was the final iteration from us. And so now the designer is formalizing that design, and we're reaching out, eventually we'll be reaching out to contractors to get pricing. We also have a third party through Compass. Remember, Morrison's is a Compass company, where this gentleman will be helping us with our selection of equipment that we need. And the designer will be pricing out all the furniture and fixtures and things like that. So that's about where we stand right now. We're still in the procurement stage. We have 2 different designs. Once we get the pricing and we feel good about the budget, we will meet with the resident task force again, and we'll present the different options and take their thoughts and make adjustments as well from the resident perspective. So it's well underway. Again, we're trying to be very, very thoughtful, methodical, and inclusive. Once we get through our time with the resident focus group and we finalize, we'll certainly share with our residents the design and answer questions that they have as well.
You will let the residents see the proposals?
Yes. However, I want to be very careful to say we have a resident task force. We have a group of residents, some of which are in this room here, that we have selected, and they are the ones that we will go to first to share the design and take feedback from them. We'll also share with the Food Service Committee, which is another group of residents. There's about, I would say about 10 residents or so. We'll take their feedback as well. And once we get that feedback, then we'll present with the general resident population. I think if we were to just do it by committee, we could do this with the whole room, it would probably be a little too chaotic. So we've decided to keep it consistent. And I will say, this is the method that we use with a lot of our projects these days. I know in the past that may not have been how it's done. Going forward, whenever we have these big type of projects that affect a lot of people, we plan to use focus groups.
Are we gonna be able to get the entrance to Woolman fixed where we can actually get in the door with our badges?
Oh, yeah, the door all the way to the left.
Yes, the one that opens sometimes and doesn't open sometimes.
Well, there is a trick to it. I will say I've learned the trick.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, there is, and I'll be happy to show you what my trick is.
Okay.
We can do a big tutorial there.
Is it the left leg or the right leg?
Well, it's like, remember the TVs where if they were kind of acting up, you just hit them?
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Make it worse. Yeah. So honestly, the layman's description, something that told me was that you put it at the very bottom, and it has to be touching. It has to be touching. There's no waving. Do not wave. Press it right against the bottom, and then slide it up slowly, and it should work. So
Top right.
yes, that's right. So try that bottom to the top right.
No, I'm serious, because I've tried that. You
Yeah,
hold it like this, or you hold it like this, or?
I hold it like this. Yes, yes. Yeah. Or then just mess with it. You'll get it
I've
eventually.
messed with it before, and it worked.
It's persnickety. I won't sugarcoat it. It's different.
Well, it is a slightly different technology than some of the other readers. I was just checking with, right, proximity versus, it's a wireless, so it's kind of it's an alternative technology that just doesn't work the same. It's not as reliable as the other readers. So sorry for that, but it, I think we put it up there as hopefully so we have another option to be able to use, but certainly understand it's not our best reader.
It's also not the main entrance.
Correct.
So it's there as, it was added, I assume at some point as a convenience. I use it all the time. It is more convenient. But truly, if it's an issue, I would just suggest going through the main entrance.
Yeah, just given how close the main entrance is to that particular one, not something that we felt's good to invest a whole lot in repairing or replacing, certainly. So.
Any other questions? Oh, yes.
Shortly after I moved in, I got a card offering $1,000 incentive to suggest a potential future resident for Friends Home. And I was just wondering what kind of action you're getting on that particular offer.
Well, I don't have a data point, but it is part of our process, and we do know that we have a pretty high percentage of resident referrals. So there is a process to that as far as recommending. It's not referral bonus by association. It's you're taking true action and suggesting somebody to the sales office. But I believe it's pretty routine that we're able to pay to somebody who makes that suggestion, and it's just a way to say thank you. That's truly what it is. It's just a way to say thank you, to recognize what you've done, and it benefits everybody here when you do that. Just makes our community, every new resident makes our community stronger, and so we appreciate that.
What did you say that they were being done in Fry?
Well, we're in the midst of a redesign of your living rooms in Fry. So honestly, we got rid of some old furniture that we really needed to get rid of. And we replaced it. We hired a designer, and we did some painting in those living rooms. We placed some of that new furniture, but some of it was on back order, and it should be arriving in February. The remaining furniture should be arriving in February. And so we hope that you enjoy the new furniture. We also deployed pendants to the Fry residents. In the past, they didn't have an emergency pendant, so they had pull cords that they could use, but they now have pendants that they can wear if they so choose, that if there's an emergency, they can press that button. We thought and that was a tougher project than we originally anticipated. It took a few iterations to figure out the solution, but we did it as a team. I'm really proud of the team and what they did, and we think we're better off as a result. I think you actually suggested it. And so thank you for that suggestion.
We've got them.
Hey, there we go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, are there any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I want to thank you for joining us this month. Happy New Year, everyone. We hope you enjoy your dinner.
Sorry, Juan.
Oh, the bridge? You want to talk about the bridge? Go ahead.
Yes, so due to the weather, we have decided to close the bridge starting at after shuttle delivery or shuttle pickup services around 8 or so tonight, likely. If you take a shuttle over to West, we'll get you back. Don't worry about that. But we will be closing the gates, and bridge will be closed from about 8 p. to sometime tomorrow between 10 and 11. We'll just monitor the weather to see when good time to open it back up. Main reason is we can't treat the wood on that bridge with the same chemicals that we can some other places. So you can still go around and get to West if you need to, and shuttle services will still operate, but we will just close the bridge down overnight.
I don't know if anybody saw the weather forecast for Saturday, but it's about, I just looked in Brown Summit, not too far away, it's a 70% chance of snow, and it says 3 to 4 inches. So I've talked to Whitney, and she'll actually be purchasing sleds. We're gonna head to the hill. Who's going to the hill with me? Thank you all for joining this evening. We hope you enjoyed it.